Good morning. How's everybody doing?
I hope everyone. Well, I'm doing good. I actually got to sleep in. My son slept in. Like, it was weird. I'm not used to having to wake him up. Usually he's running to me, or he doesn't even run to me at all. He just goes, "Hey," like I come downstairs and he's sitting on the couch watching TV already. I'm like, "Hi, buddy." He goes, "Hi, milk." I'm like, "All right."
I was up early this morning and I'd set my alarm for early so I could get up and, get ready for the stream. And then I woke up this morning and I forgot what day it was and what I was supposed to be doing.
This whole week, oh my god. Like Tuesday I thought was Thursday. Wednesday I thought was Friday at one point. Thursday I knew was Thursday. No, I think I thought it was Monday or something. And then Friday I was like, holy crap, this week went by fast.
Barrett, it's 8:37. We're both in Eastern time, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I was like,
No, I just don't go to bed until like midnight sometimes because it's after my kids go to bed. That's my quiet time.
Yeah, I went to bed pretty early last night, like 10:15. Barrett, Cool Gamer, Eva, hi everybody, hi Kat. Yeah, no, I've been really out of it. I've missed a bunch of things that were actually very important to me, and I don't know. I didn't know what day it was. My brain just was like, well, looks like you've got it. I'll go. Don't leave me. Do days mean anything? I don't think so.
No, they don't.
I
mean, pretty much just make sure that if you work, show up to work, and eat at least one meal a day.
Yeah, I should probably do something about that. Coffee is a meal, right?
Yeah, it's calories, I think.
Yeah.
I got water and I got my tea over there.
I need to get another cup of water.
Sorry, I'm taking my medicine because I just remembered I should probably take it.
Nope, you're good. It's one of those things. If you remember to take it when you remember.
Yes. Like, and since it's bad, like my medicine's on my desk because I'm always here. So I have to like see it. If it was anywhere else, like the dining room table or something, like I would probably never take it.
It's a strategy. This kiddo asked why we had days. Yesterday I said it was a cog in the machine of capitalism.
That's technically what school is. Like school was created to teach people to go to a place for like 8 or 9 hours and learn to follow instructions. So we could have a workforce.
Maybe that's my problem. I never went to school.
You went to school?
I did briefly.
You had boarding school, which to me is worse.
Yeah, boarding school is not great.
My dogs are still outside. I see one of my dogs just laying in the grass looking all regal, and I'm like, I mean, she obviously isn't like pressed to come in, but I don't want them barking in the middle of a sprint or something.
Yeah.
It happens.
No, I mean, boarding school is different, but it's like you never leave school. So even when you're not in class, there's always that like school-like structure and pressure.
I've never liked that. Like I believe in everyone talks about work-life balance, and I'm like, how do you get that in a boarding school? To me, it's the equivalent of basic training in military. Like,
but you much don't longer. Have privacy, and people go through your stuff, and
yes,
it's like, why do you have time to go through my stuff? How do you have time to go through my stuff? Don't you have homework or something? Like, and then the audacity to actually bring up to you what they found in your stuff while they were going through your stuff.
Oh my God, that reminds me of a TikTok I saw, and it was this dad. He missed his kid because they were at their mom's or at grandma's or something like that. So he goes into a room and just like wanted to be in their presence type of thing. But then he noticed, he wasn't snooping, but then he ended up snooping because he noticed a notebook on the table. He grabs the notebook, opens it up, and it's just like different ramblings. There was like repeated over and over, I got my Roblox account back. He's like, well, yeah, well, you got it taken away because you didn't know how to act, like, and stuff, like, and it goes on.
I struggle with stuff like that. I don't know that I could do that as a parent because I had people go through my diaries, through my journals,
yes,
through everything. So now I'm like really respectful of other people's property and space.
I didn't have that, but I try to be respectful of my daughter and everything. And actually, one thing I've learned with her, and then I'll go back to my story. One thing I learned with her is I don't comment about everything that I notice or see. So I'll read it, and unless it's a state I'm worried about her health or her like physical health, and if her mental health might be severely impacted, I don't intervene.
Mm-hmm.
If it is going to be impacted, then I do intervene. Okay, there we go. Try to be clear.
Yeah.
Oh, my words. Words are important, writers. And so therefore I don't comment on everything, but I do make sure to talk to my husband about whatever I noticed or seen, because I know my single instance may not be something, but what if he saw something that I didn't? And combined, we go, oh, we should probably step in. Because growing up, my parents, I had friends that were assholes and stuff, my parents never interfered in my friendships. And so it's really weird because one of my daughter's friends, she's kind of a bully, like, and gaslights my daughter and like all these things where I'm like, no. But at the same time,
I had that in a friend as well, but when my parents tried to intervene, I kind of pushed back on that because they always controlled everything. So it was like, why do I believe you this time?
Yeah, and for me, I just want my daughter's not going to learn to stand up to those people if I intervene. So luckily she is starting to stand up for herself, but then she's also kind of running away from conflict a little bit too.
Me.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
So which, I mean, I do the same thing, so I can't really get onto her too much. But to me, there's a difference between pausing versus running away. I would absolutely not read my child's journal. How I can teach him to respect boundaries. Yeah, true. How can you teach them to respect boundaries if you don't? We're the example. They see how we react and stuff. Back to the story about the TikTok. The guy pulled to a page where it said, I'm 12 years old. I don't want to be alive. And I'm ugly, or something like that. And the dad was like, aghast. So he calls his kid and he's like, I needed to correct this situation. And so in the TikTok, of course, it's funny and humorous, not meant to be serious. I'm sure this really didn't happen. But he gets on the phone and says, you're 13, you idiot. I was like, damn.
So we've got our priorities all figured out here.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm kind of interested how we got to this conversation. But yeah, with kids, like if I'll come across stuff and I know stuff, but I try not to act on it. And I think that's something I taught from my mom, because my mom wore many hats, and I would just have to go to her and be like, Mom, I don't need you to be a mom right now. I need you to be an ear.
Yeah.
And I would tell her stuff, and she had to bite her tongue, but she really valued that we always had an open line of communication. Because I also believe, like, if your kid feels like they're going to get the 10th degree every single time they bring up something to you, they're going to shut down. They're not going to talk to you. And then if they're in trouble, like, let's say they go to a party when they were supposed to be spending the night at their friend's house, they go to a party and they're uncomfortable at the party. I want my daughter to call me to pick her up versus staying there. And then let's say the party gets raided by cops or something, and she really didn't want to be there, but she didn't know she could leave. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I hope to find a therapist for our youngest so that he has a trusted grown-up that isn't his parents to talk to.
That's a good idea. Or
I like
I
that
feel
idea.
like having it doesn't even necessarily have to be a therapist, but somebody that you can trust as an alternate adult to talk to in situations where you feel like I can't bring this up to my parents. Like it's important.
Yeah, I know even when it's been important to my daughter, I try not to laugh. Like there was a situation where my daughter came to me and was like, "Mom, I gotta tell you something." I'm like, "Okay," and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, "Keep your reaction mellow. Don't laugh. Don't." In my head, I was thinking, "Don't chastise her and stuff." I mean, she was like 7. I was like, "This could set the rest of future conversations of how willing she is to be open to me and stuff." And she goes, "I'm supposed to be reading 20 minutes a day and I haven't been this whole year and I've been lying the whole time." And I was like, "Okay, well, you told me now, so we can do 20 minutes a day from now on." Trying to fight back laughter because she's like near to tears, like,
oh, poor
and
thing.
Stuff like that. And I'm like, "Okay, well, you told me. Thank you for telling me. We're gonna read 20 minutes a day from now on. All right, cool. Thank you. I appreciate it." And she left, and I was like, "Okay, parenting went." But it was just so funny because I'm prepared for like, what the hell did she do? Did she like? I'm thinking she's 7. Like, what could she get into
right.
at that time? Now she's 11, but
that's funny.
But now like I said, my goal is when I do find out stuff, like maybe I walked by her room and overheard something, I don't comment unless it's a danger to her physical or mental health. And in mental health, it would have to be an extreme situation because obviously having a toxic friend is a danger of mental health, but she also needs to learn
to set boundaries herself.
Set boundaries. And she has. She started to set boundaries with that person.
But she did go Minnie Mouse.
Huh?
I feel like
no, it's adorable. Like stop. Actually, now with it tilted, I can't unsee it.
I'm done. I'm leaving it. It's fine.
Go get a bow.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I got.
Oh wait, we got some. You got a timer?
Yep.
Oh, Kat, you took your meds. Hate them. I know you were telling on your stream like how huge it was. Like Kat's medicine is like the size of her thumb now. Like, and if you imagine like that wide and stuff, like it's like a horse tranquilizer.
I don't like this.
And that's great, Kat, that your parents would listen every time you would go to them. I know, Eva. I didn't see it until she said it, and I'm like, "Oh wait." But it looks great. I love it.
I just feel goofy.
Nah. Minnie. Not goofy. Okay.
Okay. One other thing.
All right.
Dun, 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 dun.
So, I will go ahead and pull up the banner chat if you want to join us. The prompt is Conspiracy Theories Convention. The words to include are crop circles, vacation, possum, filibuster, mutiny, scour, compass, drift, drawback, electric. I have like 30 different ideas of where this could go, and I keep on going the comedy route in my head, but at the same time, I don't know how I could execute it. Like, the execution is the difficult part, especially with the words.
I'm going sci-fi, I think.
Sci-fi? Yeah, and I gotta figure out my characters and stuff. This will be
Y'all ready to do this?
Well, if we're not, let's just do it anyway.
Did you put the prompt in the chat?
Oh, no. I'll paste it now. I'm putting it from your account, but it's not pinned because you got to pin it from YouTube.
Okay.
Eva, I got the song stuck in my head now too. Thank you.
I do what I can. All right, we are ready. We will begin this sprint in 3, 2, and 1. So I got
I'm
really
like, where's my mouse? You're still on mute.
Oop. Can you hear me now?
I can hear the tapping, but maybe it's me. Hold on. Let me change
I don't think I'm muted. It says I'm not muted.
I think it is, but...
Testing 1, 2. Testing.
Okay, I can hear you typing.
You can hear me typing, but you can't hear me talking?
No, now I can hear you talking. I think it was me. It was the AirPods. Yes, son, what you need?
I didn't have time to edit at all.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to... I'm trying to get my last, punchline. Yes, sweetie, what are you calling? I'm on the phone with my friend Chandra. Oh. You know, she has the cat that you always see? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got 565 words in, and I really like this story.
I like it. I'm still unsure, and I just got your email. And I didn't get as much because I didn't even start until 20 minutes.
Fair.
Left on the clock.
I actually went and got myself some iced coffee and took Piper out and put her on her runner for a little bit.
And you were still able to get 500.
Once I sat down, I was like, and I was just jamming it out. Yeah. Also, Grammarly has started a new function where they suggest some changes, not just grammatical and spelling.
Oh.
And I'm liking it.
Ooh.
So if you don't use Grammarly,
I have it, I think, on free as a plugin on one of my things.
Yeah, I have it on my Chrome browser.
Yeah.
Consider this a recommendation. I'm quite liking the new features, and it's all free. Still free, so. Yeah. I sent you over my story, so if you want to paste yours in, you can.
Yeah. I'm finishing that last line. Nice.
Yeah, I feel like
no, you can't plug it in.
A new voice for this story.
I need to hear what she's saying. If you plug in, I won't be able to hear. Just saying.
I feel like I found a new voice for this story that really suits it, and I like the voice. I don't think I've ever written. I don't know how the tense is either. Like I said, I didn't edit anything, but I had a lot of fun with it.
I'm trying to think of what's gonna happen. I said the last line, so I finally got the 10th word.
That's funny because I put my 10th word in the last line as well.
Yeah.
And I got most of them in the first paragraph, which was kind of funny. I seem to have missed highlighting one of them.
Okay, now I got it. Hopefully this story works. I have a feeling there's going to be changes because there always is. No, oh, there it is. I'm going to add it in the spreadsheet.
Got you.
Like I always do. All right.
Hey, Mom.
Yes, Spencer, what you need? No, you're not talking to Grandma this morning.
Why?
Because she's probably not even awake yet.
Oh.
That's the perk of being retired, kid.
Oh.
Okay, I just added it at the bottom. Please stop. Stop scraping that. Please.
No.
Go eat breakfast. Stop. Boy, oh my God. He's looking me straight in the eye and goes, no. I know we were just talking about parenting wins, but I'm about to have a parenting loss.
Do we need to have
You're
a little
hungry?
intermission here?
You're cold? Take the blanket. Bye. Go ahead. Go get your blanket then. Okay. I mean, he's taking the head jack for the headphones and sliding it across my desk back and forth. If you heard the scraping, that was him, and I'm like, stop.
Well, just to let you know how my parenting is going. Dobby's in timeout, so.
Hey, sometimes they need you. I've put Spencer in timeout a few times.
I don't feel bad. He has his own room. I really just said go to your room.
Yeah, my parents, after I turned 10, they stopped telling me to go to my room because I had my PlayStation in there. It was a Nintendo DS before it became a 3DS. I had my own TV, obviously, that had connections for at the time it was satellite and stuff like so. And then of course I had my books, so like there was a radio, a computer. There was no like punishment going to my room.
Yeah, you were like, good, yes, I will.
Fine, I was already there. I'm usually already in it as I was getting in trouble. All right, I will read yours because it's first on here. Okay. This wasn't a conspiracy theories convention. This was the real world, with more than one dead possum in the middle of circles. I came back from vacation to the Senate, immersed in the middle of a lengthy, drawn-out...
I should say crop circles.
Crop circles?
Yeah.
Middle of crop circles. I came back from vacation to the Senate, immersed in the middle of a lengthy, drawn-out filibuster, mutiny in my small-town political structure, and, of course, the possibility of aliens. The school was closed, and parents were split between complaining about the lack of childcare, some still wanted to go to work, and the other half was too busy to talk to their representatives. They were too busy trying to scour the internet for cheap underground bunkers, how to build a bunker, and secret military bunkers. My wife, Hyacinth? Mm-hmm. Okay. Hyacinth was after me too. I hadn't prepared well enough, and being in a town sheriff, how could I not know? Her best friend wanted to know what we planned to do, and she couldn't believe that I didn't have anything to say to Melinda. Also, her book club was upset that she was holding out on them and didn't we care if they lived or died. She was distraught, and she had to cancel the book club after that. It was all simply too stressful. She spent the rest of the day laying on the sofa with cucumbers over her eyes and children running amok. Our youngest, Thomas, took out his compass and told me he was going to look for the aliens and see if he could reason with them. Perhaps I should have been more concerned, but I doubted he would find anything. Maybe doubted wasn't the best choice of words. I was certain he wouldn't find anything. I let him go. Jasmine, our middle child, was in the pool, her legs kicked up on the pink plastic float, and a drink bobbing beside her. She watched over her baby cousin, letting her arm drift in her arm floats. My sister Marianne was off looking for an escape from the impending doom and was angry with Hyacinth and Melinda since they wouldn't watch all the children. As she said, poor Jasmine couldn't be expected to look after all 5 of the little hooligans. Jasmine had commented that if the world was going to end, at least she could go out with a good tan. My eldest commented rather rudely that if we didn't, the next thing on her mind would be skin cancer. Robert was in med school, and although he was probably right, not everything he was learning needed to be brought home and applied. Jasmine had thrown the half-full bowl of dry Cheerios at him. Thomas had laughed and thrown his too, only his had milk in it. I walked through the finally quiet house, remembering when we had decided to buy it. It seemed like a lovely ranch-style split level, but I hadn't known that the biggest drawback would be the open concept between the kitchen, dining room, and living room. I tried not to wake Hyacinth when she was resting on the couch. I had to be careful, stepping around the spilled cereal and the toys strewn about. I finally worked up enough courage to head into the station and made it halfway across the orange shag carpet when the phone rang in two loud, sharp bursts and abruptly cut off when the electric lights cut out. The hum of the power of the house died. I froze. Questions at the end there. I'm like, wait, aliens and stuff. Like I see, like the big one is, to me, what happened to the little boy Thomas who went to look for aliens. Like that's the number one, like, what's going on here. Then the God, there's so much. You have a lot of characters here, so I will admit that part was kind of hard to keep track with. Trying to get their age. Like, I got that the main character was married to Hyacinth. Jasmine, middle child. Okay. Marianne was the sister. Like, it just takes kind of reading back through. Okay, we never got a name for the eldest, but we did find out that Robert was in med school.
Robert's the eldest in med school.
Okay. So my eldest commented really that if we didn't, the next thing on her mind would be skin cancer. Okay, so Jasmine was the one laying out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think I probably should have clarified that he's remembered, like, this is where they are now. Because I never say where Robert is at this point. But this is where they are now, and he's remembering what happened over breakfast. And now everything's quiet, and he's, like, sneaking through the house. But he's just, like, going over everything that he's going to have to deal with today.
Yeah. Okay.
That part didn't really come out very clear.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe if you said school was closed, so we had breakfast later than we normally do, and
all of these conversations are happening over breakfast, and then here's the conversations, and then here's where everyone is now, and I'm finally working up the courage to go into the station, and Hyacinth is resting, so it's like no more like chatter in his ear about how everyone's upset with her and him.
Yeah. But no, I like that, and I like that we're getting somewhere. And my favorite part is the, like, bug of what. Okay, you sent Thomas to go find the aliens. Where the hell did he go? Mm-hmm. And stuff. The part that got me nervous though was Jasmine laying in the pool, and she watched over her baby cousin, letting her drift in her arm floats. Like, just that part got me nervous as a parent, like really nervous that Jasmine's not watching.
No, so, she's really not.
Okay. That was on purpose, because I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So pretty much, like, the whole world's going to shit, whether it's the end or not.
Yeah.
Man. But okay. Yeah, there's, like, you had great descriptions. I enjoyed, like, the like, God, Jasmine throwing the Cheerios and then the other kid throwing it, but it had milk.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah. So I had fun with that. I actually really like Jasmine as a character, because you get the impression, or I have the impression of her, that she's like a teenager, so she's like kind of old to be throwing Cheerios at her brother who's in college, but at the same time, like, he razzes her all the time, so it's like, and then Thomas is just like off minding his business, because I feel like usually it's the youngest who, like, is always stirring the pot.
Yeah. But though I actually like Thomas going off in his own world and Jasmine being the middle child and everything, because as I'm the youngest, I was actually the good one. The good kid. Like, I mean, I screwed up in my own way, but it worked out. and type stuff. Like, I never made the same mistakes my sisters did. And then my middle sister, who for me, I grew up with her being my older sister because I'm 12 years apart from my oldest, who was a half sister, so I didn't really get to see her much. So I didn't really imagine her. I didn't imagine my middle sister being the middle sister.
Yeah.
Growing up, just because we didn't have that dynamic. She made the rules. Like, rules didn't exist until she did it, and then it became a rule.
She was the epitome of this is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah. Like, I would see her get in trouble and go, oh, that's what happens. Not worth it. Okay, and then not do it. So it was that. And so I kind of draw to stories where the middle child, like the youngest child, is actually not a problem. They're pretty chill and in their own little world, kind of almost forgotten.
I just got an idea. We should do like a special episode at some point in time where we actually like switch the stories and give each other feedback, like written comment feedback.
Ooh.
And then for the second sprint, we go through and edit and implement the feedback.
Yeah.
And make that be our challenge.
And that's the challenge, is to incorporate the feedback. I like it.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Okay. But yeah, no, this one's good. The only problem I have is like it's just clarifying that it's after breakfast and stuff, and all this stuff happened before breakfast. Like, because yeah, I know. I have ideas of how that would be done, but yeah.
Maybe even putting in as the first line, changing the first line to say something along the lines of breakfast was chaotic.
Yeah.
This wasn't a conspiracy theory convention, and then go into it from that perspective. So we've established that this is all happening during breakfast, and then things had finally calmed down after, and then go through all the things that had happened during breakfast. Something along those lines. I don't know. Definitely
anything to make it clear. Because I don't think it needs to be sequential. Like, this happened and now we're here. I like the idea of we're here. Let me remember. I'm glad it's quiet because this morning was chaotic.
Yeah.
Type situation.
Okay. I like it.
Yay. Other than that, I feel like it's good. Like, me going back through, I mean, it's just like my eldest, Robert commented.
Oh, that's good.
You know, like things like that, just to make it clear.
Yeah. I do like the voice, though. I think that's a new voice.
Oh, God, yeah. I like the voice. And the voice was great because the voice, I feel like, is reason, but at the same time, he's like, he knows not to insert himself a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And plus, he's got bigger fish to fry. Like,
yeah. Yeah. Well, I also think it's kind of funny that the main character never says anything. Like, you never
he's watching
anything, and like any actual thoughts about anything. There's no imposition on it. It's like all of this information is just like hitting him, and he's just like, like, whatever, dude. Thomas wants to go find aliens. Whatever, dude.
You won't. It's fine. And I kind of like that clarification of, like, I didn't think he would find it. Never mind. I knew he wouldn't. Like, he's a kid. He's not going to. He's just got a compass. So.
Yeah. That was fun. All right. Let me read your story.
All right.
Come on, babe. Let's just go check it out. It'll be fun. Caroline said as she pulled Adam's arm. Adam rolled his eyes. A conspiracy theory convention is not how I wanted to spend our Vegas vacation. Please, 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 Caroline continued, her filibuster of pleases until Adam finally said, okay. They walked into the large open room filled with rows of booths. There were people dressed up like aliens, some dressed in tinfoil and others just in their everyday clothes, unfazed by the diversity of the attending crowd. The pair passed by one booth that was completely enclosed with lockers outside of it. There was one person standing in front of it, inside a bubble. Take a break inside our electronic blocking booth. All electronics will be left in the lockers while your cells recover from the harm of their energetic wave. While your cells recover from the harm of their energetic waves, they said to passers-by. Adam shook his head as Caroline continued to lead him through the maze of booths. One drawback of dating someone who loves to learn new things, he knew he'd need a compass to find his way out of here, hopefully with Caroline, as long as they didn't let go of each other. After passing a table filled with pictures of crop circles, there was a booth labeled Tour Guide. Adam tried to push Caroline to a booth across the way, showing the connection to possums and driftwood, but he was too late. Caroline had already seen the guided tour that would start in 5 minutes. Here, Adam thought this would be a free event just because $20 more expensive. Welcome, truth seekers, the tour guide said to the crowd of 10. Adam and Caroline had joined. Welcome, truth seekers, the tour guide said to the crowd of 10 Adam and Caroline had joined. My name is Cindy, and I will be your guide as we scour the depths of each truth you can find under this roof. Let's hope the lie spreaders don't try to sway you away from the light. So everyone here believes a different conspiracy theory? Adam spoke up. Cindy nodded. Yep, though we don't like to call them conspiracy theories. They're more like hidden truths. Did anyone think that there is mutiny to get all conspiracy theorists one place to squish the truth? Adam asked, shrugging his shoulders. Silence emitted across the convention as all eyes landed on Adam. Oop. Maybe don't stir the pot, sir. I like that he's like humoring her, but then he ends up like becoming the center of attention because he says a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I kind of want more, though. Like, I want a little more interaction between Caroline and Adam. I want to hear how they, not really necessarily how they ended up together, but, like, opposites attracting.
Yeah.
So a little bit more of what he thinks about her. Why he's with her when he disagrees completely with the premise of this event. Like, what is it that attracted him to her in the first place?
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit of him, like, looking at her and being like, oh, at least she's pretty. Like, you know what I mean? Like, thinking something, not exactly those words, but it's like, what is it that's him?
Like, the first thing that comes to mind is because she's so, like, hungry for knowledge in any way, shape, or form that he's like, well, I mean, we have the intellectual debates, you know, and how else are we supposed to have that? And he admits she's smart.
And then on the other side, I want to hear how she feels about him and his being kind of a doubting Thomas. Like, I want to hear how she plans to either convince him or if she just thinks it's funny to watch him be a little uncomfortable when he's out of his depth around all these conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
And then after you see all of that, I want it to be a little more, I don't know if this is how you mean it, but this is how I kind of took it. That's his conspiracy theory.
Yes.
So he like kind of thinks he's above all of these conspiracy theories, but at the end of it, you find out his conspiracy theory is that maybe y'all are all here to get bumped off. Like,
and I don't want to be here when it happens.
Right, exactly. Like, I think a little bit of like kind of like him noticing like there's a lot of conspiracy theorists here who are like, you know, grassy knoll type people and you know, Area 51 and like everyone's just kind of like, he's like, I can see these people like disappearing for reasons.
When they get too close to the truth.
Yeah, and then he says that, and everyone's kind of like,
Yeah, like you could hear a pin drop moment.
Yeah. I think that also the distraction of like how they feel about each other, building up to that could kind of be like, oh, when we're looking this way, we think it's about their relationship, or maybe they're gonna like get into an argument, but it has nothing to do with that. But I like it, and I kind of want more.
Luckily, I got plenty of space with like only 300 some words to add in them more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I think that's fun. Also, I'm just gonna click through here and tweak a couple of things.
Oh yeah. You said energetic instead of electromagnetic.
Well, my bad.
But I actually kind of like the energetic because electricity is energetic and stuff. Like there were certain things like that where I was like, huh. And then I just forgot the word to in a lot of the to be verbs type thing.
Meh. Okay, I just went in and made some little tweaks, but yeah, no, I like it. I think it's fun, and the pin drop moment I thought was pretty great.
The thing is that I was questioning, like, I wanted him to say it, and then I was thinking about ending it there, and I was like, well, no, what's the impact of him saying it? Yeah, like, I wasn't quite sure on the ending for a bit, but then I decided I wanted the impact.
Well, I also I wonder how it got projected so loud that everyone could hear him.
Yeah, that was another thing where I was like, all right, I'll worry about that later.
Yeah, but I think it would be like maybe he's standing close enough to the front that the microphone picked it up, and he wasn't expecting that, and so maybe like the microphone screams as it picks up his voice and projects it around the whole convention center, and he's just kind of like, shit. Like he freezes, and then everyone like turns to look at him, and he's just kind of like, yeah,
like, don't come at me.
Yeah, I think that's good.
I almost want the crowd. I'm torn in my head. I'm like, all right, is the crowd coming at him because they think, oh, you're a plant to take us down? Or do they look at him and go, one of us?
I think, yeah, I think so, because he has at this point become one of them, but now everyone's a little bit frightened to be there.
Oh, yeah, so then it could be like a mass exodus situation of getting out.
Yeah. And I mean, it really depends. At that point, you have endless opportunities to continue the story or to end it, because you could also like end it where there's a mass exodus, or you get through the mass exodus and now Carolyn's kind of nervous and they're like leaving, and then someone picks them up. Like there's a lot of different options.
Oh man, like they what if they leave and then there's a black SUV up front type situation,
and they get kind of scooped up?
They're so much fun.
Yep. Like it like I said, it unlocks endless opportunities.
Oh yeah. So, all right, you ready for our next one?
Yep, ready.
All right. God, I got like a lot of sleep in my eyes right now. Okay. All right, I'm thinking 43. Give me a letter.
B.
All right, and chat, feel free to give us a letter between A and Z, obviously, and a number between 1 and 60. The first word is wood, like a tree.
All right. 58.
58. We're gonna go U. Huh, that one's taken. Up, down, left, or right?
Left.
Performer. Okay. 36.
A.
Book.
$19.
N as in Nancy. Lotion.
$14.
West. All right. 5.
Z.
Stable.
$12.
12X. Scandal. $20.
W.
Parish. Like Parish.
Let's do this.
How many more we need?
2 more. 32.
E. Google. All right, last one. 17.
Contagious.
Mm-hmm.
17. Q.
Train.
All right, that's our 10 words, and need a number for the prompt.
Between 1 and 104. So chat, if you don't mind giving us a number between 1 and 104. For the writing challenge, options are, while chat's working on that, writing the characters as animals, set during a historical event, re-attack with 10 new words from an old prompt. Oh, we could do that. Grab an old prompt.
Ooh.
And use these 10 new words.
What? So we would have a total of 20 words?
No. These 10 words replace the 10 words from the old prompt.
But then we just pulled all these words for nothing. I feel like we should grab...
No, these 10 words that we just got paired with an old prompt.
Yeah, so it would be 10 words plus 10 words would be 20 words.
No. We don't worry about the 10 words with the previous prompt that were paired with the previous prompt. We just grab a prompt that we've done before but have 10 new words.
Oh.
That have these 10 words.
So we wouldn't need to worry about the number from the chat for the prompt.
Yes.
Okay, let's go with the prompt from episode 100 because I don't remember what that was, but...
Oh, okay.
But we should do one where we have 10 words from our choice and then 10 words from the other, so we have 20 words to include. That would be a challenge.
So
you're like, why do you do this to me?
Yeah. Oh man, this one's interesting. So I'm gonna say the original 10 words, even though we're not using them, or we could use them. That would be interesting to have that many.
I kind of want to do it.
So this one, I'm not sure if you remember correctly, but episode 100, it was magic and everyday occurrences. The words to include were Krav Maga, touchscreen, litter, vendor, doorbell, finish, hungry, aversion, signature, sweatband. What we did with this one, this was the one where we started with the end and worked our way back. And this is where for my story, it was a bully. This kid going against their bully, and they were creative.
Yeah. Okay. So let's include those words. And it was magic in the everyday.
Yeah, magic in everyday occurrences. The words are Krav Maga, touchscreen, litter, vendor, doorbell, finish, hungry, aversion, signature, sweatband. So now we got 20 words.
So it's Krav Maga, touchscreen, litter, vendor, doorbell, finish, hungry, aversion, signature, and sweatband.
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
So now, do we take the same story we wrote before, but rewrite it with now 20 words?
I think we just completely go with whatever.
Oh, brand new one. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if this is all going to fit in chat, but I'm going to try. It does not all fit, so I'm going to do it as two separate magic and everyday occurrences. Words to include. And the challenge. There we go. All right. We ready to do this?
Hold on. I got to put it as a banner.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. So I got a new scrolly thing, but now I got to jump over. Oh, no. I'm not trying to hide. Okay, that works actually.
Okay, dope.
Because we got all the words there, but then we got the scroll has the challenge.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, our powers combined. Let's see if we can do this.
We'll begin in 3, 2, and 1. Whew. I could have gone with a little bit more because I wasn't quite done editing, but I got 524 words.
Good God. I got 4 words left to do.
I think I got all of them.
Yeah. I'm still missing a few. But I actually, technically, I could stop the story here and it would be a complete story, but I have an idea of where else it's going to go. So, hopefully I'm able to remember. I think I'm going to have to take some notes on here to remind myself what the hell I wanted to do.
Fair.
All right, now I got to jump over to there. Okay. I'm throwing in my story at the bottom.
Well, Maggie's here. Just got to get a warm shower. It snowed. My best friend sent me a picture of the snow too, and I was like, "This is ridiculous." It's almost June.
I don't understand. Like, unless you're in like Alaska, and even then, I feel like it's starting. It should be.
Yeah,
I know. Being here, my birthday is April 6th. This is the first place I've lived where it snowed after my birthday. I was like,
it's wild.
All right. Oh. I can take off the ticker now. All right. You want to read mine first, and then I'll read yours? I got the hiccups.
Maggie says, the seasons are 2 months behind. This is the kind of snow we usually get in March.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy. That is crazy. Okay, here I go with Natalie's second story. Walking through the city is difficult if you're not familiar with everything. Most people think the city is filled with rude and cold people, but that isn't completely true. We have our regular paths to work, school, and hangout spots. We know which vendors will sustain us when we are hungry and what places should call their signature dish a version. The performer on the street corner is a regular and not scary. The white liquid on the pavement is really from lotion, not evidence of a scandal. You don't need to know Krav Maga to walk the streets at night. You will not perish if you take the train alone. Admittedly, the ATM touchscreen is probably dirty and someone should sanitize after they finish. These are the things the locals pick up on after living here. There isn't a set amount of time, as it is different for everyone, that someone transcends from newbie to local. It isn't even noticed until the local is visited by an out-of-towner that the transformation is realized. Little did I know my out-of-towner would be from so far away that their experience in the city would equal their experience if they had come across a one-stoplight town. I thought I was new, thus I was still nice to strangers. That was a mistake, or blessing, depending on how you look at it. It started simple enough. I was sitting in the park reading when this person didn't sit at the other end of the bench like a local would, but rather in the middle and closer to me. Runners in sweatbands ran by just as I finished the last line of my book. I sighed, almost sad to say goodbye to the characters. Was it bad? The stranger asked. I looked around to confirm they were speaking to me before I spoke. Laying the book in my lap, I shook my head. No, it was lovely. I just hate ending a book, especially when the next one in the series isn't out yet, or it is the end of the series, or there is no follow-up book, I said. Why don't you write this story? They turned their body to face me on the wood bench, ready to engage in full conversation. I looked at my watch and stood up. Maybe one day. Well, I must be going. I turned and paused when I heard them say something. I turned back. Excuse me? I asked if I could read the book. I'd very much enjoy experiencing things, they said. Looking down at my only copy, I shrugged and handed the book over. I hope you enjoy it, I said with a wave as I left. 2 hours later, in my apartment, my doorbell rang. What do you mean? Wait, did they have their address written in the book?
I'm still torn with that one.
Or did they like drop a bug in their purse or something? I'm like, this person is, I feel like they definitely are being stalked.
Yeah. So I'll let you finish all your points before I go with my headcanon of where I think this is going to go.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a couple thoughts on formatting. There's a few places where the dialogue kind of runs together, where it should be split off to indicate this is the main character and this is the person they're talking to. Mm-hmm. And then you will not perish. That should be perish.
Oh.
So unless, and so this is where I was not sure. Should the word have been perish? Because if it is, I wrote perish with an A instead of an E.
It's supposed to be with an A. I just get them confused on which one's E, which one's A.
Okay. Gotcha. So yeah, because parish is like a not
a county.
Yeah, exactly. But I love the setting of the city where it's like once you live there, this is your place. Like you don't feel the same fear that, like, it's not a daily fear when you go out to do stuff the same way it would be if you've never been there before. You have your local spots and it becomes your safe zone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know the people, you're not worried about it the same way that an out-of-towner would be. But then the dichotomy of the person who's intimidating this person in the place where they're comfortable, where they've already established, I'm familiar with this environment, it doesn't bother me, but now the person that's bothering them isn't from there, so theoretically should be uncomfortable. And it's like that setup and then the bait and switch. I really like that. Let's see. I don't know. I like the verbiage. I like the I don't know. It just has a good feel to it. Also, I've also had that conversation with someone where they gave me a book.
Mm-hmm.
Started a conversation with someone about a book they were reading, because I'm one of those people. And they ended up giving me the book. And so that part, it makes it a little more creepy, because it's like, this has happened. And it's close to home. It's very close to home. I like that. The context of the story is so believable. I think that makes it more horror.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that you've ever specifically written something that starts to seem like horror to me before this, because the scenario is so relatable, so close to home. The description of this character being very perfectly comfortable in their environment, and then having this experience that makes it not a safe environment anymore. I'm a fan. I found this on
the web. What's your search history?
But shush. But yeah, I like that. And I did go through and make a couple of tweaks. I'm sure you saw those.
Completely fine.
But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, where I was headed with this story is actually not horror. It was going to end up being kind of like a My Favorite Martian thing, is what I was thinking.
I'm not familiar with that.
So, My Favorite Martian is it's actually a movie with Christopher Lloyd and Jeff Daniels. I think that's his name. But he pretty much Christopher Lloyd is an alien from outer space and just kind of comes in, and Jeff Daniels ends up taking care of him. And that's kind of where I was going with this, because mostly with the line of where this person would be, their experience would be equal in this city versus a one stoplight town. Like, it didn't matter, where this is their first experience with Earth. Now, I was toying with the idea of, is it going to be similar to other Meet Cute meets The Village?
I love The Village, so I appreciate this.
Yeah. I was toying with the idea of, what if this alien is actually sent to judge the human race to see if they're worthy to live as the aliens try to take some of the resources, or are we going to off the people and
if
stuff?
you want to keep the alien dynamic but also still make it horror, you could do kind of a body snatcher thing with it.
Yeah.
Like, she goes to take care of the alien, and then the alien just like seamlessly slips into her life and becomes her. I'm really married to the horror idea.
Yeah, like what if it's like that copycat thing, like Swim Fan and stuff, where the aliens like can morph its appearance. Ooh. And stuff, and like as the alien interacts with this particular human more, they can start to adopt their speech pattern. Their like,
ooh, what if that happens, right? And she like continues her normal routine, but there's a second her that everyone thinks is her that goes out while she's like at work or school or whatever doing her thing, and it's out there wrecking her reputation in her little zone.
Yeah, because we talked about being comfortable, and now let's make it uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And stuff. And then I'm wondering where because that could be an entire book, like where would the climax be? Like, what is the turning point? What is the thing that, like, is it going to be a drama where she pretty much ends up getting arrested for things she didn't do?
So there's a movie that I watched. It's not in English. I want to say it's Japanese, where this girl marries a guy. He has an accident and ends up in a coma. And then his brother shows up, and they kind of start a relationship. And just as the relationship starts, her husband wakes up from this coma that he was never supposed to wake up from.
Oh, wow.
And then the two brothers like fight it out. And at the end of the story, one of them dies, and you don't know which one she ends up with. She also doesn't know which one of them she ends up with.
Holy shit.
So I'm kind of thinking it's something like that, where she finds out that the alien is impersonating her when she's still doing other things. And they have a confrontation, and at the end of the story, you don't know if it's her or the alien that survives.
I like that. Oh, that's interesting. Turn it down, buddy, please.
The stalker is someone sent to protect her because the patient is a spy and she never met. And they fall in love. Ooh, that's interesting. You have lots of options with this story. But I think the bottom line is that we would like more.
Yes. This is why I'm so glad we have videos and recordings, because then I can go back and stuff.
Well, yeah, we can just brainstorm, and we don't have to like try to write it down. We can just go through all of our ideas and then go from there.
I'm just surprised that I was able to come up with something, because when I first read this, I kept on thinking about the facing your bully story, and that was in my mind the whole time. And then I was like, nope, let's try something different.
Yeah, so, I think you did great. I really like it.
Yeah, still miss 4 words, but with more time, I can get those.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get them in.
All right, now for Chandra's story, because she is just like a word fiend today.
Don't know what that's all about.
Yeah. All right. The stage was well lit. Globes of light. Yes, Spencer, right? You've been quiet this whole time. What do you need? You're hungry? Eat your breakfast. No, you didn't finish eating your breakfast. All right, give me 5 minutes. All right. The stage was well lit. Globes of light streamed down to illuminate a glittering wood with forest nymphs dancing in the brightly colored costumes. A seasoned performer danced to center stage and began to perform an odd set of movements more akin to Krav Maga than dancing. The audience laughed, but the laughter wasn't enough to cover the forced stage whisper coming from the back of the auditorium. One audience member looked up from the blue light of a touchscreen. "You don't understand," the disruptive voice said. "I took the train to be here." I peered over the shoulder of the audience member to look at their screen. A Google page with some scandal or other one of the casted actors had been involved in. I shifted my foot, bumping into a bit of discarded litter that remained on the floor from the previous performance. Someone's phone went off. A text notification was set to sound like a doorbell, causing half of the audience to turn away from the stage. The woman beside me opened a bottle of lotion, smearing it over her hands, a strong floral scent mingling with the smell of stale popcorn. The sound of the argument still drifted from the back room. I glanced furtively. Yeah, words are difficult. At the door, but no one was blocking my path to it. Reassuringly, one of the security guards had a book out and was reading. The west exit was blocked by a vendor. It was almost time. My stomach lurched, hoping the cart wouldn't be moved in time. "Mommy, I'm hungry," a child said loudly. I glanced up a few rows to see a woman with her hand pressed over the child's mouth, trying to quiet him. I had a sudden, strong aversion to the sight. It stung me with piercing familiarity, but I pushed the feeling away. I couldn't afford to fall apart. I needed to be reliable. My team was counting on me. "I can't wait for this to finish," a child said, peeling the hand away. The child said, peeling the hand away from his mouth. On stage, the actor paused halfway to set stable. Another actor waited in the wings, ready to say their signature line. Another actor fidgeted with the sweatband they had clearly forgotten to remove before they went on stage. The audience shifted uncomfortably, waiting for the awkward moment to pass. I tensed in my seat, ready to run, reminding myself that the driver was already waiting outside to drive us out of the parish. I just needed the actor to go on, to say the signal word that our plan depended upon, the word that let us know that everyone was in place. The smell of smoke wafted through the room. The actor spoke loud and clear. "There's magic in everyday occurrences." My feet were already moving before the last echoes of the phrase died in the air. The five of us who were seated in the audience bolted out our respective assigned doors, chains in our hands ready to bolt them shut. I don't think anyone realized what was happening until it was too late. Ooh. Damn, dude. So this kind of makes me think of a previous story we did where it was like an explosion in the theater type thing. And it makes me think of that. So the part that I was getting confused on is where this person was. Because so there was the person in the, like, looking at their screen. And I thought that person was like standing in the back. So therefore our main character had to be standing in the back to look over at the phone. And then I found out, no, they were seated. I would find it interesting if they would glance, because we don't get a hint that there's other people until 5 of them stand up. So I feel like it could be said of either, I don't know who else is involved, but if everyone does their part, it will be pulled off. Or they lock eyes with the other people, like, and you could even play it as the awkwardness of the situation, instead of like, hey, they know I know that we're in the same team, but where they lock eyes, like, what's going on, you know? So that can be done, but I still like it, and I still wonder, like, what's the incentive? Why? That's the part that. But I'm wondering, is that like one of the good questions to have after the flash fiction, or is it otherwise I don't have it? The Flash is missing substance, and I can't quite determine that. Because it would be really depend on how the why's delivered, if it's good to have or not. Because you and I both agree you should leave there should be questions. There should be like, ooh, moments. But you also don't want to be... all right, let me put it this way. I believe flash fiction is kind of like those connect the dot drawings. We want to make sure that all the dots are there.
Yeah.
At least.
So, I think your point about not realizing there's other people involved is good, and that's something that I would need to pull in and kind of clarify a little bit. And that's where I needed to add a little bit more around the part where I mentioned there's a cart blocking, the vendor's cart is blocking one of the doors, and hoping it gets moved soon enough so before everything is like set to go. So that because that person is concerned. The main character, I said I don't have something specific in mind there, but the main character is observing that and concerned that the cart won't move, so that person assigned to that door can get through the door and get it bolted shut. I don't think I clarified that really.
Yeah. I just thought of another foreshadowing is when the person stands, so chains, when they're together, it would jingle a little bit. And I want to highlight that sound where they like try to like, maybe they put their hand or hold themselves a little bit to keep it from jingling.
That's a good,
like I hug my body to, so I won't jingle as I walk or something like that. And jingle may not be the right word, but something like that.
Yeah. The other point to your question about what is the purpose, and yes, I do want that to be a question. And I also drew that comparison of like this character is observing a little child having their mouth covered because they're being too loud in this setting, and they have an aversion to that. But at the same time, at the end, you get to it and you're like, why do you care though? You're chaining the doors to a theater.
Yeah. I took it as the main character probably has some trauma in their lives. And that's where I went with that, where it affected them, but it didn't sway them to
and that's where I was like, that's kind of a weird thing. So the motive, I definitely want that to be a question mark. To Maggie's point, does the person on the stage get out, or were they not a part of it? They were not a part of it. I kind of wanted the impression though that this person, the main character, has been to this show before, so they're using a specific line
as a timing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why there's that tension, because this person on stage doesn't know that and gets distracted by everything happening in the audience, and they're just like, say the thing, we need to go.
Yeah. I think what would be really good is this is what I was looking for the whole time, is obviously there's a plan. I want someone to falter. I want someone, like, what if either our main character does, or they see someone else does, where they put the chain on the door, but they don't lock the padlock on purpose or something like that, because they want it to be broken, but they also don't want to be the
single point of failure.
Yeah. So I like, that's what I was looking for. Or I was thinking as I was reading, the person on stage, they're going to like change the line. And I was expecting to be told what the line is. And then when what they actually say is something different or something like that. Like I was looking for someone to falter, because I knew early on there was a plan. I was looking for something.
Thank you, Nia. And from what you're saying, I'm hearing I need to edit this and write some more.
Yes. That's usually the number one feedback. And we will both. Well, I know for sure I'm going to be going through and editing and writing more on all my flashes. It will probably, by the time I'm done, it's probably going to be like 200 or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be, I mean, close to 300 actually. Right now I'm calculating about 260, but we'll see.
Yeah. I definitely like where I took this story. I think it's better than the one I'd written with this prompt originally. And I like that I didn't use it as actual magic. And that the line relates to the play that's going on stage, and all of the distractions that are feeding into the main character's nervousness. I would definitely like to emphasize those more. I'd like to clarify a little bit about the other people who are involved in this plot.
Yeah.
And indicate that there's some kind of hesitation or some point of failure. Maybe the cart doesn't move in time.
Yeah.
And that person, like the main character, observes that person struggling to get past it to their door as they're like pulling the door closed behind them and bolting the chain. Like a little bit more of that kind of nuance.
Well, and even tie in the Krav Maga thing, because I was like, what does this have to do with the story? Like at the beginning, I was like, okay, maybe this person is like the distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And it creates an awkward situation, which faltered the next person. But then I was like, but then it was never brought up. And I was like, why?
So that was supposed to be like why the audience was laughing of like, this is the play. It doesn't really make sense. And that's like part of, it's like a comedy, but it's like a fantasy comedy. And so maybe clarifying what the name of the play is and why it doesn't all match up.
Yeah. Like say that it's a comedy and like, this is the fourth war of laughter and the entire, the actors had to wait for the laughter to die down before they continued.
Ooh. What if the cart blocked door abandons it and that leaves an egress point? Ooh.
So much potential.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to play with this.
Yes.
I do have to run because I gotta go to.
So everybody, thank you for coming. Links are down below for Chandra and I. Chandra is out of school now, so she'll be potentially posting more. And I haven't done school, but I got 2 kids, so it might as well be the same thing. I'm schooling them. Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. Links down below. You can find us. I think the next thing is I'll be live on Twitch tomorrow night at 7. Chandra, are you going to be on Zara's stream?
Yes, tomorrow on Zara's stream. I've also got some stuff coming up with Nia. I also have a book tag that I'm working on that I'm going to send out. So if y'all are interested in doing a book tag, keep an eye out for that. I will be tagging a few specific people, but I'll also have it open. So if you see it and you're like, ooh, I want to do that, then definitely jump on in there. And I've got some new content that I'm getting ready to post. So keep an eye out for that. Thank y'all so much for joining, and we'll see you next time.
TTFN.
Any minute now.